All right, round one.
This rotation is taking place in a grade 4-5 math class in order to support blended learning.
We take the best facets of a face-to-face classroom with a teacher and the children, and we take the best facets of an online environment and digital tools and kind of merge them together.
There are 4 stations. At the Math with Technology Hub, students are using a virtual geoboard to solve a problem and then explain how the app helped them on an online discussion board. Assignments like this have made math this student's favorite subject.
I like doing math because there's more to math that we do on this. And we usually only use the textbook, and it was kind of boring, so this is a lot of fun.
She submits her work at the end of the rotation on a virtual learning environment, or VLE, that gives her teacher instant access to what she's completed.
So I will be able to go on tonight and look and just quickly scan and see how many people A, completed it and understood it, and B, how many will need more support. So it's almost like a yes, they have it, or no, they don't have it, and that will influence my grouping and teaching for the next day.
Then there's the Math with Myself station that has students completing problems individually, and the Math with Miss Dale station.
So what would the area be then? 88? How many agree? Thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down. Well, let's do the math. So for that 10 to 15 minutes, I have their full attention, their full engagement, and that's the most important time for them to acquire the new concept and that's also the most important time for me to assess what they know, what they don't know, so that I can base, future lessons on that too.
The final station has students working with a partner. That way students can feed off each other, which is helpful because
you have a buddy that maybe knows a bit more than you, or you know a bit more than your buddy that you're working with.
Seeing this kind of collaboration is one of the goals from the Huron-Perth Catholic District School Board's Innovation Project. They're using a virtual learning environment to implement blended learning practices, which supports critical thinking and communication in math class. Rachel Skillen is a grade 9 math teacher who's also taking part in the project. She finds students are more engaged and confident when they're working together.
If it's a teacher-led lesson, there might be pockets of students that are not understanding, but they don't feel comfortable enough to, ask questions or to really express that they're not understanding. But when they're working together and collaborating, then they feel like they're kind of in it together, and they feel more sense of teamwork and that they are working toward a goal together. And so I think all of those things help.
The students also appreciate the time to talk things out with their peers in small groups.
The teacher explains it in more of a teacher way, it's more professional when your friends kind of know what you struggle in and stuff, so they can explain specific parts to you.
And hearing that explanation process can give the educator some insight.
And if you minus 9.5 from that, that'd be the y-intercept. Yeah, but do we need the y-intercept?
So I go around and I listen in on their conversations that they're having, and then they have much more opportunity to ask questions of me, and we have that sort of dialogue or that conversation going back and forth, so I get a much better sense of sort of what their thinking is and where their level of understanding is, and then it gives me an opportunity to give feedback to them throughout the lessons.
In this lesson, students have to watch a video that's posted on their news feed in the VLE and then solve a problem that asks them to find a missing variable.
We got the assignment and then we went into groups, which is good because group work and math go really well together.
Students can use whatever resources they want in order to get their answer.
The classroom is transformed where there are no walls, and kids have access to all of those learning materials and each other in a way where the students' ideas and the students' thinking really becomes the content of the learning.
At the end of the class, they present their answers and explain their reasoning. Just before they leave, they also answer one question on the VLE to help the educator gauge what the students took away from the lesson.
So it gives me that instant feedback, and it gives them the instant feedback as well to know that they understood what they were supposed to be learning or they met the learning goals.
And when students leave the class, the VLE allows them to access resources when they need it and encourages further collaboration.
Our world now is all technology, and it helps us because when we're at home studying for a test, all the stuff is on the internet, so we can go and look at it, and we're interacting with more people in our classroom.
It also helps teachers collaborate.
Teachers love going into other teachers' classroom to look for ideas. So the idea that you can, do that in an online environment without having to leave your own school or your own home. It's an incredibly rich resource for teachers.
But it's not just about using new technology or resources. It's about coming up with a pedagogical approach to meet the diverse needs of all students.
We used to come at it where we would just say, here's a great piece of technology, everybody use it because it's awesome. And now I think we're coming at it from an aspect where if we give them the reason why we want to use these tools, then we can really achieve true blended learning and accomplish those pedagogical goals.
The innovation project used a blended learning format in order to provide professional development for the teachers taking part. The plan is to make use of the work submitted this year.
I think that's going to really deepen our understanding of thinking in mathematics and how we can help students make thinking more visible.